They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of display. Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 I'm black pill, I'm ill with this will.
It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States. Like
Hey, everybody. What's up, man? What's good? You know, this ain't gonna be a normal video. But basically, man, the channel's almost at, we're almost at 500 videos, you know, so the goal's gonna be, man, to hit that 500, man. Hit that 500 videos. I think that's gonna be a huge landmark. You know, I know there's been a lot of, you know, issues here and there. You know, I got Tony Bruno and the Lost Gang coming after me. You know, I even got a so-called president of the Manosphere coming after me, and you know, that's gonna be dealt with very soon. There's a video I'm planning to work on called, I don't got the title yet, but, you know, it'll be coming out soon enough, man. You know, to me, I let this stuff marinate. You know, you gotta let people that lose basically have some time to savor, you know, their false sense of success, you know, their false sense of victory. You know, you let that marinate. You know, let them have that time. You know, because one thing about people, when you see them do wrong, and they think what they're doing wrong is correct, is that they're gonna be celebrating it, and you know they're gonna even make more mistakes. You know, more bad choices that expose their character. You know, but you know, the goal is, man, to reach 500 videos on this channel. You know, man, you know, some people I got, well, what is that idiot's name? I got a guy like Guy Bro saying, oh my God, he's only at 850 subs and he's had a channel since 07. Yeah, I had a channel since 2007, but I didn't really start posting anything till I think it was either 2020 or 2019. When I got more consistent. You know, the funny thing about these guys, man, these people, is that it's so easy to expose how wrong they are in their talking points. It's too easy, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, the goal is, man, to reach 500. So if you got any ideas for you know, any video subjects, you know, leave a comment below, man. Leave a comment below, because, you know, the thing is, man, you know, I've done so many videos, and I got my hands in so many things, man. I'm doing so many, you know, business things, you know, be it, you know, inventing a cat scooper, you know, writing a philosophy, writing a book, you know, writing this and that, you know, comic books. There's a lot I'm doing, man. There's a lot I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? So I sometimes forget a subject that I didn't cover or something I need to make a video of. Even though, I mean, if you look at this channel, I mean, I've basically covered almost everything, man. You know, you got over 400 videos, and I've covered from dating, I've covered, you know, I've covered many things, man, from dating to child support to, how you should be thinking on life, how you should look at life, how it might benefit you, to be far more mobile and minimalistic. You know what I'm saying? I think that might actually need to be a saying. Eminem, minimalistic and mobile. That might actually need to be a way to look at life, because, after COVID-19, after the pandemic, man, life is completely changed, because now you have to worry about when will the next pandemic arrive. I just saw something on, what they call that thing, man. It's like the alternative to COVID. Yeah, Omicron. I saw the new, they just announced there's over 36 variations of Omicron per CI8. I mean, think about it. Omicron is kind of named after something that happened on Futurama. Remember Futurama, from that planet? Those aliens they were from Omicron Persei 8 or something. So, you got all these variations of, Omicron and all that. Dude, life has changed, man. In all honesty, to tell you the truth, the way you can spot a grifter right now, since I was attacked by Tony Bruno for saying, hey, man, you got to be minimalistic and you got to plan things out to conserve your money and live on less, because anytime another pandemic could arrive, you got to actually, in actuality, you got to be ahead of your rent by, I'd say, a year to about 2 years. You got to be ahead. And to be ahead on your rent, you got to be more minimalistic. You got to transition, unless it's about business. But you got to, if it's about your business and you can't afford it, but you still got to be ahead, man. We live in a completely new society now, man, because we never know when the next pandemic will come. And that basically means you got to basically plan for being unemployed or out of work for the next 6 to potentially a whole year. With this whole, remember when the pandemic happened, when they said trying to remember what the jobs, they only allowed these type of people to work, I forget the word, how you qualified, essential, there it is, essential. So, you got to think about essential jobs. I mean, teachers weren't able to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to plan for the pandemic, the future pandemic. I mean, the only people I see where it doesn't matter, I mean, if you're rich, if you're making if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, the pandemic really won't affect you as much. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot easier to where, you're going to be out of work, but you're like a multi-millionaire. You're going to be out of work. You're worth billions or hundreds of millions, so it doesn't really damage you unless you got a mansion where you're paying the mortgage and all that stuff. But that's a whole other perspective. My bad for spitting. That's a whole other perspective. But to me, man, we live in a completely new society now, man. Everything has changed. I mean, the last time we didn't think about pandemics was 2018. I mean, 2018 was the last golden era, man. It was the last era of freedom. Now we live in a time where, man, a pandemic could happen at any time. The government could make that dumb call, essential workers only, for something that's killing less than the flu. You know what I mean? So to me, man, everything has changed. And the way you could tell someone's grifting on you ASAP. I mean, the way you could spot a grifter from 30 miles away is if someone's telling you to succeed and do all this stuff and they don't mention you have to plan for the pandemic. If they don't mention you have to plan for a potential future pandemic, then you know they basically are setting you up, man. We're in a whole new era, man. We're in a completely new world. All the old rules have been, thrown away. We're no longer at that time where, yeah, man, I'm going to buy a home. I'm going to buy a house. You know, I'm going to buy a mortgage for the next 3 to 5 years or 20 years without thinking about what will a future pandemic do? What would that do? What would a future pandemic do? I mean, think about if you buy a house or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want to rent it out. Well, how you going to rent it if another pandemic happens and those people that would have been renters can't afford to pay you rent and you still have to manage that house? You still got to keep the upkeep. You know what I mean? So everything has changed, man. Everything. You know what I'm saying? We're in a whole new world, man. The dynamics are completely different. You know, there's no more just planning for a job or a business, you know, work without planning for a future pandemic. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these, you got dating coaches and PUAs, you know, they try to sell you this stuff, but dude, okay, so you want me to invest in your coaching system to potentially date with all the legal issues, and then there's a potential of a future pandemic happening. You know what I'm saying? I personally think, like I've told a lot of guys that the pandemic COVID-19 has basically pushed men to think forward, you know, at a level that will not be seen. Well, you know, all this technology we have, men are thinking. I personally think the COVID-19, the pandemic, pushed male thinking by 5 years. A lot of men are thinking far faster, far more forward. They're thinking far more on you know, being ahead. Like they're thinking of the worst case scenario, because I mean, that's what we live in now. You know, we live in the worst case scenario. At any time, another pandemic could happen. You know what I'm saying? Another one could happen any time. You know, any given time, another one could happen. So, you know, what are you to do? Anytime another one can happen. You know, so men have pushed up their thinking, you know, saving money, planning. You know, more men are going to be more minimalistic than ever before. You know, a lot of men are going backwards, you know, not trying to live a luxurious life, but a minimalistic life, because the only way to survive a future pandemic is to be minimalistic. And the thing is, the government knows that, you know, you survive. So you survive COVID-19. So they have to raise the expectation. So the next pandemic could be far worse. You know, it could be far worse. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what they'll pump out? Maybe then, you know, its death rate might be over 1%, over 2%. And, you know, they'll probably pay some actors to vomit out blood, and who knows what they gonna do. Cause, you know, the sequel to COVID-19 has to be far more violent, far more dangerous. So that's what they gonna do. They know you're used to it. I mean, if the government was to announce, yeah, COVID-19 is back, we need y'all to stay home and this and that, and you got many states that have said, fuck it. You know what I mean? They're going to need a lot more incentives. They're going to have to show, oh man, this new variation is so powerful. People are vomiting their livers out. You know what I'm saying? They're vomiting blood. You know what I mean? COVID-19 sequel is so dangerous. You know what I mean? COVID-19, I'm trying to think the sequel. You know, so I don't get it. Might be Morbid. I forget the name. They'll come up with some name. But basically, man, you know, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. You know what I'm saying? People have to really be aware, man. Everything's changed now. You know, because you have to now plan for a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Your retirement plan. You know, your retirement. Is that pandemic proof? You know what I'm saying? You have to plan everything in your life with this pandemic now. Because, you know, the government has this in the chamber, you know, and when the time comes, they'll release a new one. They'll make some announcement. You know what I mean? So, to me, a lot of people, man, you gotta you got to look at what's going on. You have to plan for the next pandemic in your life now. So, you're going to see relationships even spiral further downwards. You got the hookup culture, whatever. Hookup culture is going to be the norm. I wouldn't be surprised pretty soon Tinder's going to release an alternative for non-adults, maybe a high school version, so kids in high school, I don't know, man. I heard they're going to release a Facebook for people under 18, you know what I'm saying? I think people under 13 or something, so they're going to make one for children now, you know what I'm saying? So they can start indoctrinating the children as soon as possible, pump the propaganda in their brain. So to me, man, with everything happening, everything happening right now. And I saw the comment section, Tony Bruno. Oh man, he says man a lot. The guy that says, I provide support for men. Support. It's not, I don't give advice. I provide support. Yeah. So to me, the thing is, man, you got to understand. And, you got to plan for the pandemic now. I've spoken to a lot of guys. I talked to some guys that are engineers. Some of the homies are business managers, tech guys, programmers, and all that. You know what I mean? And, when people give you that advice of, they give you that advice of, yeah, man, you got to plan for your success and business and all that. And they don't mention that you have to plan for the future pandemic that's coming. You know what I'm saying? They just tell you, get your money right, get a good job, buy a house and this and that. And they don't mention planning for the pandemic. There's a lot going on, man. Like I said, the hookup culture thing. I mean, if Facebook is going to be, I think it was Facebook, Instagram, and social media, they're going to make some for younger kids or whatever, because they want to get children as soon as possible. So it's kind of how YouTube is doing the whole, I think YouTube has, if you upload something for kids, you can't have commenting on there. So no commenting. So it's only a matter of time before Instagram and all of them. I think Instagram already has something for that. But you're gonna eventually, I mean, it's inevitable what's coming. Pretty soon you'll see a Tinder or you'll see dating apps that are targeting high schoolers, where they'll probably create an age gap of they'll keep it for minors to be dating each other, you know what I mean? So they can further spread that the narrative is to meet each other through an app, because, I mean, we're at the point where in society where, man, to be honest with you, any interaction they promote with non-apps is seen as dangerous. They don't want people to just meet up and talk naturally without an app. So it's only a matter of time before the schools and, before your Tinders, your Instagrams, your Twitters, and, YouTube's already doing it. YouTube already got something for the kids. So it's only a matter of time. I mean, society's pushing forward. Because here's the other thing is the pandemic affected a lot of these companies too, these corporations. So your social media, so they're realizing, man, we need to get them all as soon as possible. You need to get them as soon as possible before another pandemic comes and we lose access to the adults and the children. You know what I'm saying? So to me, man, the whole world has changed, man. Everything has shifted. We're in a whole new world. Nothing's the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's no closing your eyes thinking, it's going to be like this forever. There's no more, yeah, man, I got a 5-year plan for my business and my, my corporation. I got the economy planned out. Got plans for the economy. I got plans for, my retirement. You know, you got all these plans, and if you're not planning for the future pandemic, then man, those plans are worthless. They're worthless. I mean, if you look at the millionaires during the pandemic, they were a lot of actors and, your Hollywood types. They were just bored. They were desperate for attention because they weren't able to make films and, do all this stuff. So they were desperate for attention. Well, so the millionaires and the billionaires, another pandemic, they'll just be bored because they can't interact and be worshipped by the people below them, the consumer. But, the thing is, man, everything has changed. Everything has changed, man. I mean, I would say if you want to do a good experiment, look back at 2018. Like, look back at 2018. Look at the economy. Look at illness. Look back at 2018 and compare it to today, man. You'll notice that in 2018 there was no pandemic. It was just normal life, man. Now, man, it's a completely different thing, man. So to me, man, things have changed. Things have truly changed. So you gotta start planning for it now. The pandemic, you gotta add that into your business plan. Traveling. Because we never know. I mean, the pandemic now, the sequel to it, we never know when the governments of the world will release it. We'll say, we need another round. We need another round of this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? We need another round. So we never know. So if I'm everybody, you got to plan for it. You have to plan for the pandemic, and it's now part of life. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're thinking the economy. You got to look at it. The economy, you know what I'm saying? The economy, the government, corporations, you know what I'm saying? Politics, and of course, the pandemic. 5, man. You got to plan for 5. The pandemic is the missing piece. You got to plan for that. And any man telling you some other bullshit where they don't mention planning for the future pandemic, they're setting you up, man. They're setting you up for failure. You know what I'm saying? They're setting you up to be a victim because this has to be part of your plans now. That's why I say more men than ever before will be minimalistic. A lot of men will change their shopping habits. A lot of men are changing. I mean, you gotta look at a big thing that's increased is the homestead movement has really increased. The movement of men growing crops, plants, and all that stuff, living off the land. So a lot of this will only have increased. And I personally think men are basically living 5 years ahead. Potentially, I'd say probably 2 to 5 years. I'd say some men are even mentally living a decade ahead, where this pandemic has forced a lot of men into a mental corner where they got to think like crazy, So, I'd say with this pandemic, it's awakened something in men that was basically sleeping, woke up the sleeping bear, because, a man could depend on the groceries of society. They could depend on getting new jobs. Even when the economy was bad, they could move to another state to get a job or whatever. But the pandemic changed everything. Certain states weren't allowing you to go from other states during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? We're in the post-pandemic, my bad for the spitting, we're in the post-pandemic era. We're in the post-pandemic era, man. Everything has changed, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of men have mentally evolved. That's why I think I see this whole passport bros thing. Even, many men are basically saying we flying out of the country. We're to start families overseas and all that, because a lot of men are looking at it as, we never know when that next pandemic will come. And, we now know they're trying to delete us. So we never know. You know what I'm saying? We never know when the government or whatever is going to happen to delete us. So a lot more men are no longer settling for any. They're not settling. I think a lot of men are no longer settling for domestic hope. You can't really sell a man hope anymore like you used to in 2018. You know, in 2018, you could sell a man hope because, you know, that man wasn't worried that he could lose his ability to fly. He could lose his ability to fly out the country or even fly to another state or drive to another state back in 2018. You know, 2018, things were simple. But now with this pandemic, a lot of men have basically pushed themselves forward to where they're like, yeah, man, pandemics happen, so we never know. We never know when we'll lose our ability or we'll even lose our employment, our careers. We never know. You got the pandemic, you got automation. A lot of men are looking at it as, yo, man, hope is dead, man. Coping and hoping. You know, cope and hope flakes. A lot of men aren't buying that cereal anymore. You know what I mean? A lot of men have realized, yeah, man, I gotta do what I gotta do. And I gotta be able to take advantage while I can, because you never know when the next pandemic is coming. So that's why I say you look at this passport bros movement, guys just flying overseas, you know, by the thousands. I mean, it's only going to continue to increase because, you know, you have the dating section, you have the antagonistic aspects domestically. I mean, from television, entertainment to the news, everything you turn on as a man is you just see them spitting on men, trying to feminize them and all that. So you got all these things happening. It's like a storm of disrespect and all that. And plus you have in the back of your mind that future pandemic could happen at any time. So a lot of men aren't taking their chances on domestics at all anymore. You know what I mean? I think in the next 5 to 10 years, it's only going to be far more common you hear men flying in and out of the country. You know what I'm saying? Flying in and out of the country is going to be a normal thing. You're probably going to see guys getting their driver's license with their passport. You know what I'm saying? Or getting their passport before they even get their driver's license. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be such a much needed commodity. You know what I mean? Because you're looking at everything going on in today's society. A lot of men are looking at it and saying, yeah, man, yo, there's a lot of shit going on, dude. A lot, you know. And we never know when the next pandemic's going to happen. So a lot of men are looking at it and saying, yeah, we gotta move. We gotta make moves. We gotta be able to travel, you know. And another thing this is gonna do is the birth rate. You know, I've been telling guys this. I need to make a video on it, so I'll touch up on it a little. But I think a lot of men subconsciously, you know, you got the passport bros movement going on. A lot of women are complaining about men flying overseas, but they don't really see the true damage that's being held and done domestically. These men are spending more time flying overseas at a time the birth rate is plummeting. The birth rate domestically is plummeting, you know, to a non-replacement rate. So these men are flying overseas to find a relationship and start a family, which means they're only going to increase the decrease of the birth rate here domestically. So the birth rate's gonna take a nosedive, you know. And the thing is, the women here, they're only promoting it negatively. They're only promoting the ideal that men should travel overseas to find their soulmates or whatever this soulmate crap, or to basically establish their family, you know. So these women doing, I saw Yeesh's channel, you know, Brazil Yeesh's channel. You know, he's doing a lot of compilations of women complaining about men flying overseas and, you know, slandering men's intentions and all that. And what it's doing, I've been saying this, I've been saying this for over 5 years. You know, even before I started a YouTube channel, when I got in heavy, that a lot of men subconsciously are going into what I call a zero birth rate initiative. You know, zero birth rate, where men are having a silent protest. And it's actually the most effective protest ever, is men removing their seed from the table. And, you know, you can always look at black men as an example. You know, it's been said that, you know, the sperm banks, you know, there are less than 5% of black men donating their sperm to the sperm banks. So that means the women that want to have a child, you know, without, and here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing about that. Some women are looking for example, let's say that some black women are looking for the sperm of another man because their husband is infertile or something like that. So sometimes women are looking for sperm donors because their significant other can't produce sperm or something like that. So it isn't just a lot of women looking for the single mom experience. It ain't all that. But what you got to look at, and I would say all the homies that watch this channel that are not black, look up the black men, you know, the low rate of black men donating sperm. You know what I'm saying? The low rate of black men donating sperm really would point to the future where a lot of white men won't be donating sperm too. You know, the black community is always the, you know, canary in the coal mine, as, I forget dude's name who said this, who created this. I can't remember his name right now. But, yeah, you look at the black man as basically the starting point. You know, a lot of what black men go through will eventually flip to other races of men. You know, the white man, the Asian man, and so on. So what you're looking at is a lot of men are realizing, and it's happening because of the pandemic. It's actually pushed this even further forward. You know, because of the pandemic, it's actually pushed this even further. So a lot of men are going subconsciously. A lot of men are subconsciously going with the zero birth rate initiative, where a lot of men aren't planning to have children. Yet at the same time, a lot of men are investing their money, be it in stocks, you know, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it. A lot of men are making investments. And then a lot of men are planning for the next pandemic. If you notice that, I never mentioned men planning to have children or a family. And, you know, that used to be taboo, but you're gonna see, man, I'd say by the end, probably by 2025, and, you know, this black pill, man, black pill way of thinking, no emotion, no attachments when seeking solutions. I personally think probably by 2025 to about 2028, it's going to be the norm. It's going to really be the norm in probably over 10% of men in the United States. Probably over 20% of men will not be planning to have children domestically at all. You know, and by men saying they're not planning to have children by over 20%, that basically means the whole hookup culture thing will actually become finite. I might be finite as in it's permanent. There is no change in it. It's permanent. Because if the men are strictly looking for access to women just for sex, you know, just to have sex as in hookup, and a lot more men are not planning to have children or anything like that, that basically means men's perspective and what they look for in women will be completely changed. You know, it's really gonna, a lot of men will basically develop what I call probably escort vision, you know, escort vision, as in they only have their eyes for a female to be like an escort, basically an escort. And what do I mean by an escort? Well, you know, you hire, you're paying a woman to be with you, and you know, you'll have sexual relations, whatever, and there's nothing after that. That's what you're gonna see happen. So a lot of men will start having that escort vision, where they don't look for anything permanent. They don't look for long-term relationships. And what this is gonna do is it's only gonna rev up the hookup culture. It's only gonna increase the hookup culture and the narrative. So you're gonna have women even be more hypersexualized than they are right now, you know, because that's really gonna be the sole purpose. You know, you see it now with the Instagram thoughts and OnlyFans and all that crap, but the thing is, it's only gonna be more hyper. You know, it's only gonna increase even more. You know, because right now with OnlyFans, you've only seen, you know, busty, you know, big-breasted women in shape. But when OnlyFans really becomes normalized is when bigger women, more overweight women join and start announcing they're making a profit. It's gonna be the norm, you know, the lack of morality. You gotta understand that, you know, we've really only been able to have mobile apps. What is it? I think we went into the mobile app age in the 2010s. I don't remember everything, but I think 2010. So you look at it's 2022 now. So let's say 12 years from 2010. By the time 2030 hits, man, that's over 20 years of people growing up with mobile apps as their source of direction in their life and all that stuff. So you're gonna see things speed up. And with the deterioration of female morality in today's society, where, you know, the government and corporations have basically stripped women of any moral compass, you know what I'm saying? They've basically turned women to sex objects and consumers, you know, where you see women now that are having children still dressing up, you know, with no conscience in front of their children, still dressed up as a sex object. Then you have the men with them, like I said, the men that are feminized with their woman that basically will accept that, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see a lot more hypersexuality, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look at what's going on in today's society where, you know, to be what is it now, feminist? To be a feminist now is to stand up for being you know, respected as a whore, being respected for being unhealthy and overweight, being respected for self-destruction, having a lay count above 50 and all that. Everything you look at, when you look at what's happening and what's being promoted, it's really nothing more than demoralization and, you know, pro-dysfunction. I mean, you look at what happened with the Roe v. Wade, where, you know, instead of the majority of women speaking on it are talking from a perspective of safety and, you know, they need to be able to delete the baby for their safety if they were raped, you know, if they were taken behind the bushes, you know what I'm saying? You know, sex was forced on them. You see them basically promoting deleting a baby like it's a video game, like it's a toy, some experience they want to have. You know what I mean? So if you look at today's feminism, and you know, I've talked to a lot of guys. You know, there's a lot of guys. You know, I used to be in that camp, but you know, not really a lot. But to me, you don't blame women. You look at it from a strategical, because here's the thing, if you're blaming the women you're not really looking at the root of the issue. You're not really looking at the root of the issue. That's why me personally, moving forward with Black Pill 3.0, I don't blame the women. The women are a reflection and a byproduct of man's law, byproduct of man's law. So I accept them as what they are. They're a byproduct. I mean, when the men would come to pillage the village and basically kill every other man there and just basically, force themselves on the women to, have sex with the women or whatever, leave them pregnant and take over the village, were those women cheating on their men? Were they cheating on their men? Or was the village pillaged and, it was either they were going to have sex with this Viking or they would be murdered. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at the byproduct of man's actions. And once you look at it, and then you look at all the legal systems, you gotta understand that a lot of the laws that were made the mass majority are man-made. Every law is man-made, really. I know what you're thinking. Well, what about the laws women pass? Well, who allowed them to pass those laws? Man. So you got to understand that the majority of the laws are man-made, and they're made from a man's perspective of logic, prioritizing logic. So when you have a law based on logic and you put it on women, where the law only benefits someone that thinks on a man's perspective and a man's way of approaching life, you can't expect no less than them being overloaded. The majority of women operating with the laws and how we think and the laws they've been given are operating on a perspective they can't control, and that's the way men think. You see a lot of these women that are against their own women, and they talk as though they're a man, and as you can see what the destruction has led to. So to me, man, a lot has changed. We're in the post-pandemic era. We're in an era where in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, when is the next pandemic? Will I be prepared? So the whole world has changed. And a lot of men have changed too, man. A lot of men are going to be, and unlike before the pandemic, I'd say 2018, yeah, you had the simps and all that, but back then you had a stream. You had a stream of guys that were simping and guys that were not simping, partial simping. There was different ratios, but because of this new era, you're gonna see men sink. It's gonna be a very different turn. You're gonna see men that simp and men that don't at all. There won't be that middle ground. The middle ground has died because a lot of the men thinking about the pandemic will also be thinking that, damn, man, if I'm beta, a lot of guys bring up the beta bucks thing. I got to beta bucks to her as soon as possible, because I don't know when the next pandemic will come, when I lose my employment and my money. So a lot of men are going to actually increase. You're going to see an increase in simping like never before. But at the same time, you're going to see an increase in men not simping like never before. You know what I'm saying? Everything has been hyper increased. And you're going to see an increase of demoralization. So a lot more men, like I said, man, a lot more men are going to have that escort vision. A lot more men aren't thinking about families at all. The only family they're thinking about is if the family they had, their parents. Other than that, yeah, majority of men looking forward, looking behind them, men will say, yeah, I got a family, my mom's, my dad. But a lot more men, and all it takes, I mean, the biggest problem you got in the manosphere from all the spectrums, red pill, MGTOW, the gray pillars, everybody that ain't black pill, they think you need a lot of men to do something. No, you don't need a lot of men. I mean, if half of 1% of men in this country aren't having children, You know, the damage is crazy, man. So if this country ever reaches more, I'd say about 5 to 10% of men not having children at all, not doing dates, because like I said, the hookup culture is about to become permanent. And a lot of men in the manosphere blame the women. Oh, the women have made it into hookup culture, blah, blah, even though the dating apps were man-made. You know what I'm saying? How can you blame women for dating apps when they were created by men? The level, it's insane, man. The lack of critical thinking skills, the missing IQ, you know. But what's happening is this, man. You're gonna see it, man. Hookup culture is permanent. And the thing about hookup culture is, just like YouTube, you gotta understand, YouTube has a section for kids. It's only a matter of time before you see a dating app that arrives that says no one on this app can be 18. You know, it's gonna exclude people 18, so it's gonna target children in high school. And the way that dating app's gonna come out is it's actually gonna tell the parents it's safer, because at least with a dating app you could see who your kids are going to meet versus them just dating someone in the class or in a school you don't know. So it's only a matter of time before you have a dating app that's exclusively for minors. Just like you have, I think YouTube has a minor section where you upload a video, no comments, because, you know, they want to protect the minors, as they should. But you're gonna see, especially now with the schools openly going after the children, it's only a matter of time before the apps start doing the same thing. So, you know, Disney Plus is already trying to go on after your kids. A lot of these things is going after your kids with propaganda and agenda. So it's only a matter of time. You know, I heard Facebook is going to be launching, they're trying to launch, I think, a minor edition where only minors can join for kids or something. They're going to release some type of app like that. I think Instagram's about to make something just for the kids or something. You know what I mean? So it's only a matter of time before you see a teenager dating app where it's basically only for the minors, you know. So, and they're going to promote it that it's safer because, you know, the parents can, and they're probably going to create this app with, you need a parent to make it for you or something. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to see what happens. So that means a lot of kids in high school, instead of, you know, they're dating each other from their high school, they're going to be dating each other from the dating app. So you're going to see a lot more of this happening. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're going to see a lot more of this happening. Far more. You know, so to me, man, and it's only it's going to be about the next level. So let's say Tinder has a Teenster or something. I don't know. Teenster? I don't know. You know, so Tinder's probably going to make a teen version. So now they're going to basically have these kids, basically these minors or teenagers, graduate. So they've been on a dating app since they were in high school. Then they're basically going to graduate to being on a dating app after high school. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be the next step. You know what I mean? Because the culture now is absolute corruption. You know what I'm saying? You know, they've already made, you could look it up. You could look up, they made a song called "We're Coming for Your Kids." You could look it up on YouTube. And on that song, they had some child predators, you know what I mean, registered. So, you know, look up that song, "We're Coming for Your Kids," man. So a lot of men watching what's happening with Disney and all this media coming after their children, a lot of men are realizing, damn, man, I can't have kids here. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are basically saying subconsciously, I'd rather die than to have the suffering of bringing a child into this country and seeing them be destroyed by the school system, where they try to program them to have body dysmorphia, you know, sexual confusion and all that. So a lot of men are taking a stance which will only increase the lack of reproduction and lower the birth rate. So a lot is happening, man. We're really in a new era, man. A real new era with the post-pandemic era. You know, a lot of it's changed, and you're gonna see, man, because now, the gloves are off, man. The gloves been off. The gloves are off for these corporations, these people trying to indoctrinate your children. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it where some parents go to the teacher conference and say, don't teach our kids this and that. You know what I'm saying? Because a school isn't supposed to be about, you know, trying to indoctrinate your children or, you know, about on their sexuality and body dysmorphia. School's supposed to be very simple. They're here to teach you math, English, English and, you know, how your body functions from a normal perspective. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have other issues, there's a guidance counselor. The kid reaches out to you, their parents or the guidance counselor. But when the majority of the schools are trying to program and feed agenda to your kids, even from the private schools, a lot of guys say, well, you know, they're only doing it in the public schools. No, man, they're doing it in the private schools also. So, you know, a lot of men are looking at it and saying, yeah, man, I'm good. You know, so you got divorce rates, high divorce rate, and now they coming for your children. A lot of men are basically saying, nah, I'm good. I'm out. I ain't doing it. I'm all right. I'm out. You know, so a lot of men are looking at it this way and basically saying, yeah, I'm stepping away, dude. The last thing I'll ever do is bring a child into this nation. You know, so a lot of men are looking at that, you know, and once it hits, I think it will eventually hit above 5 to 20% of men will start moving like this. And I've already seen it being normalized at bars, talking points. So it's coming, man. A lot of things are coming, you know, a lot of change has happened, man, you know, and you're going to have men on here still speaking this bullshit, this 1950s. And, you know, we need to return to the traditional woman, the traditional lifestyle of a man, and, you know, the traditional ways of America. We need to return. We need to return to the traditions. You know, it's funny how these men talk about, these frauds in the manosphere talk about tradition when they ignore that tradition. We do have traditional men and traditional women today. They're basically, their traditional standard is based on the modern traditions. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the traditional women of the 50s are different than the traditional, you know, the traditional traditions of traditional women and men of the 50s are different than the traditional men and women of the 60s, just like the traditional men of the 1900s are different than the traditionals of the 1940s. You know, there's a lot of men trying to escape, ignore reality. Dude, we're in a new era, man. Everything has changed. And a lot of men are adapting and they're being aware. You know, a lot of men are aware, man. And the thing about the black pill is that a lot of men are being black pilled without knowing it. Once a man says, yeah, no, once a man says legally, once a man starts speaking from a perspective of the laws and the reality of not being able to change the laws, they've been black pilled. So you're going to see a rise of black pilled men, and it's already happening. It's happening. You know, like I said, you'll see a rise in gray pills. So a lot of things are happening, man. A lot is happening, man. We're in a new world, man. A new world. A whole new world. You know what I'm saying? The words of that Disney song, a whole new world. What was that? What was that whole new world song? Wasn't that from Aladdin? A whole new world. That had to be from Aladdin. I don't remember. But the thing is, man, you're gonna see, man, a lot of these app creators, they, you know, Facebook and all of them, they know, man, all these app creators know they're losing users, you know. I mean, a TikTok is a good example. You know, I don't know the age group TikTok allows people to start an account, but you're gonna see app creators push for a minor level. They're gonna be like, yeah, we need to allow the minors in these apps. You know, the sooner the better. We need to increase our subscribers, and we need them to be on these apps as soon as possible so we can start programming them. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see a rise, man, a rise of promotion. It's already happened. You know, I think it's happening directly where certain apps have been promoting, you know, I think they've been promoting minor business owners, like a 13-year-old kid who's a business person on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. They're gonna promote them in a certain way to say, hey, look, it benefits them, business, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, they need a way to increase their subscribers. So they're gonna aim at the younger people, you know, and the minors are far less, what's that word, with parents, with the divisive country we live in where, you know, the odds of mothers and fathers sticking together is super low. They promote that, you know, a person isn't just a mom, they're a mom and a dad. They're doing both jobs, when that's just stupid. If you're a father, you can't do the mom's job. You're just the father. If you're a mother, you can't be doing the mother and the father's job. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, man. It's a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? The whole new world, man. You have to understand, we're in a post-pandemic era. You gotta start saying that. Say that out loud. You're in a post-pandemic era and everything has changed. Everything has changed. And a lot of men have evolved and changed. So we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be something else. And like I said, man, leave some comments if you got some video ideas. I won't be accepting emails, you know. I won't be accepting ideas from emails because, you know, I have a suspicion, man, that somebody with an alt account is going to try to set me up on something, you know, because that's how dirty and corrupt, you know, you got guys like Tony Bruno. You got your guy bros, you got all these, you got your black silvers, you got a lot of corruption. So with these type of people, you gotta assume they'll try to do the worst because they're already destroyed, and you know, they suffer from a lack of mental stability. So you gotta assume they're plotting the worst. But you know, it's all good. It's all good because, you know, I mean, they got a channel. What is it? I got the 21 Studios channel with over 400,000 subs promoting an attack on me. You know, promoting a video where, you know, you got CBP on there saying he calls me a house nigga. So, you know, but, you know, things will be rectified, man. Pretty soon everything will be clear. But think about that. I'm a man with a channel with 850 subs. And I got a channel like 21 Studios or 21 Closets with over 400,000 subs promoting antagonistic things towards me. You know, it's going to be funny, man. You know, I said 2022 is going to be funny. You know, we'll see what happens, man. There's a lot coming up. But, you know, like I said, man, from now on, I do have a Discord. You could join the Discord if you got some requests. And, you know, you could request some topics on the comments of this video. You know what I'm saying? And, because to me, I won't be accepting them from emails anymore because, I know what they're planning. It's not hard to think, it's not hard. The thing is this, man, it's not hard to think what some people with missing IQ are planning. They're missing IQ. They're easy to read. They're not that smart, man. They're not that smart at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to think of what a second grader's most evil plot will be. They'll be like, oh, dang, yeah, he's in second grade. What's the most evil thing he could do? Oh, he's gonna spit in my food. Oh, or he'll throw stuff at me. Wow, predictable. A lot of these guys coming at me, missing IQ, man. They're coming at us. They're coming at anybody who will basically point out what's going on. So to me, it's all good, man, because what's funny is in coming after me, you got a guy like Tony Bruno who's exposed himself. He's exposed he's nothing more than a 60-year-old closeted racist. You know what I'm saying? Who's out of his mind. You know what I mean? So then you got his support structure. So to me, it's all good. A lot of these guys come out and expose themselves, so it's all good. But like I said, if you got any ideas, the goal is to hit 500 videos. I'm going to do that very soon, very quick. So if you got any, who knows, your video idea might be the 500th video. So, leave your comments down. And we got a Discord. You could join the Discord. We created a section. If you got video topics you want to discuss, so let me know. We got big things coming, man. Y'all have a good one. And remember, we're in the post-pandemic era. Post-pandemic era. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, peace.
It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States.
Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place.